Okay, join us as we just steamed up, or just got this Luton Bowman PW203 in steam. This is the very first time this has been steamed this year. In fact, it's the first time it's been steamed in a very long while, must have been about 2 years. And just sort of take this one off the shelf, give them a wipe down, a bit of oil, a bit of meth, some water, and see how it performs. I've gone around and oiled all the usual oiling spots, the cylinder, the little felt pad in the cylinder, the displacement lubricant which feeds into the steam line, and obviously the bearings on the crankshaft. As you can see, it's steaming extremely nicely. This engine dates from immediately after the Second World War, between 46 and 50, thereabouts. Built by a company called Peace Parts and Assemblies, who bought up the Bowman name after the war. They're nothing to do with the pre-war Bowman company at Dereham in Norfolk, which was established by Geoffrey Bowman Jenkins. Nonetheless, they're collectible in their own right and make very fine steam engines. This particular one has the characteristic crinkle paint finish on the firebox. It could be sought for the smoother paint finish, and also it's got the thinner controls on the whistle and the regulator valve at the engine. They do come with a slightly chunkier design as well. This also has the round-edged meths reservoir. They did actually also produce a slightly squarer version as well. But as you can see, the engine is running extremely well. It was priming a little bit to start with, but now it seems to settle down into a nice steady routine. Safety valves on these all seem to leak. They do throw up quite a lot of water, as you can see. Particular engine was not the top of the range. The top of the range PW engine was the 204 twin cylinder, which the engine was also used in the CJ steam yachts, and also I said that I think the very top of the range used the Bryant valveless engine. But as you can see, it's still a very nice engine. Some idiots still think that there's no such thing as the PW204. Well, I can assure you there is. There's not a great deal of them around. I know one person who owns one, and it's an extremely fine engine indeed. Well made, nice solid brass engine, solid chunky flywheel, and well made cylinders. So if you do actually see one, then and it's for sale, then I would suggest you to snap it up. This particular engine now is finished priming and settling down into a usual routine. There's a small regulator there which can control the speed. Steam line feeds right into the actual cylinder itself, so it does actually lubricate reasonably well. The exhaust is fed out to the base mounted chimney, and you can see it's got mechanical spaced holes at each corner on the characteristic light green paint. This particular one carries the cream background decal. You could also find them in red and blue. I don't know what the significance is, if at all, of any particular reason why they were attached to some engines, but it's a nice little adding touch. Very early versions would use a brass version of the particular decal, which was riveted to the engine frame. You can also find this on some of their earlier marine craft as well. They do come up from time to time on eBay and fetch reasonable prices. If you can find it with the box and instructions, and it's a particular characteristic funnel and the little wrench that is very useful for tightening down the safety valve, then so much the better. This particular engine normally runs for about 15 to 20 minutes. It takes around about 240 cc's of water, and I say they are very well built engines and very collectible in their own right. They are the smaller versions of this particular engine. PW202 overtype and the PW201, which is a normal sort of boiler with engine fitted on the base plate. So slightly smaller in size. I'd say probably the PW202 is probably the harder one to find. So there you have it, Luton Bowman PW203 in steam.